If you've made it here after watching the first part of this series, then you already know that I created the top part of a medieval inspired matching set that I was almost completely happy with. Almost. You also know that I went through 4 different attempts at making a bow style collar. The final one was the best one yet. However, it still didn't quite hit the mark. Now, I'm not ready to give up just yet, but I am going to put the collar making process on pause for now and shift my focus onto the next piece of this project, the pants. If you don't know me, hi, my name is Mia. I am a sewing and all things design enthusiast here on YouTube. All right, let's dive in. I'm so excited. First step is we're gonna serge all of our edges. The next thing I'm going to do is transfer my darts into the pants. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to sew the front with the front, the back with the back, right sides together on the crotch seam up until this point. The way that I'm doing this is I'm pinning the pockets right sides together and then gonna sew that seam at a 1 centimeter seam allowance. Do the same with the other part of the pants, and then I'm gonna join the side seams of the pants going around the pockets, demonstrating on this animation. saying that I tried the pants on would be a lie, because I couldn't get them past the hips. Did I see this coming? Kind of. Did I do anything to avoid this? No. It sounds worse than what it is, because I'm just gonna open the darts. So I was thinking, why don't I remove the back darts? Try them on and see how that goes. If I'm in at that point, see how it fits. If we like it, we keep going. If we don't like it, we just open the front darts. I don't know how common this is, probably not, but this is what I've got. Worst case scenario, which is not even a worst case scenario, we just open all the darts and do an elastic band. That also sounds great to me. Today I decided to be very positive. If I had done the pants yesterday, that would have been another story. So I'm officially in the pants. Since I removed the darts, they do have a tendency to fall. This is where I would want them to be. I like the placement of the pockets. My phone is already in the pocket with the mic. And I made them too long on purpose because I wanted to make sure that I had excess of fabric to sew the elastic in and have that puff effect. Apart from that, I mean, these are pants for sure. They're rather comfortable, honestly. I kept the darts here. I don't know if you can really see them because it's getting late. But yeah. It's the next day, and last night I ended up sewing the waistband in, and I wanted to show you how I did it. I basically sewed it into the outside of the jeans, and my purpose was that I'm going to flip it in, squeeze a little bit of fabric out like such, and do a top stitching here. And I'm also going to secure the waistband by stitching it into the side seams so that it's not noticeable. I've done this with a skirt and it turned out pretty well. I'm not sure how invisible I can make the stitching in the side seams. Worst case scenario, I'll stitch it by hand. I'll show you in a second, but this is not working. So it's not that bad. It is that bad. Anyways, I always can do the other approach, which is using fabric to create a channel. I think I'm gonna use something very light just to not add weight. Or perhaps weight is good. I don't know. I don't know if you can hear the coffee brewing, but I'm currently making myself a good cup of coffee because today I'm going to be attempting the color for the 5th time. I just pressed the new hem of the pants and I'll be hemming off camera tonight because I want to hand stitch, and there's nothing cooler than hand stitching in front of your favorite show. I watched a tutorial and I feel prepared. By the way, I'm going to link all of the tutorials that I've used for this project. Man, I'm so thankful for a platform like YouTube where there's just so much information for free and easy to access, easy to find. Yeah, I'm going to link everything. The plan is I'm going to use interfacing on one side, and the other side I'm going to fold the lower seam on the stitch line. Does that make sense? Am I making any sense? Yeah, I think so. Anyways, you'll see. I don't know how else to say this. I'm disappointed. I feel defeated. This is the 6th version. If we want to be nice, let's say it's the 5th version because I burned the 5th and so I couldn't even try it on the jacket. And that's if I want to be nice with myself, because this is literally the 6th version and I feel like it's even worse. Let's be positive for a second and say what I like about this one. Let's just entertain that idea. I like that it's bigger, like larger. I like that there's interfacing so it really stays put. However, I don't understand how there's even more creases. This was the last attempt. There's not going to be a 7th version because I just can't give it more time, give it more thought. I wouldn't even know where to start. I literally don't know what to do. If any of you know what I'm doing wrong, please let me know. Now what I'm thinking is, how can I make this better? And the only idea that comes to mind is, since I haven't closed the seam on the inside, sew another button loop to just force it shut. I'm very happy with it, I have to say. I didn't know that I could achieve this, but it's in details like the color that kind of make me re-evaluate my skills. And it's just these kind of moments, reality hits you back and you're like, hey, you need to do better, or you need to keep trying, you need more patience, which is fine. That doesn't mean that I'm going to stop sewing. It just means that I need to take a step back and think that I need more practice. Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna do what I said, and I guess I'll be done. I'm sorry if I ruined the mood. This project has been an emotional roller coaster. At times, I felt super proud and excited about how things were coming together, and other times I was overwhelmed and felt totally unprepared. But that's part of the process, right? Looking at the final result, I think this set turned out pretty decent, but more importantly, this whole process has reminded me that learning never really ends. And it's so valuable to pause, reflect, and recognize how far you've come. Because believe me when I say I couldn't have created this a couple months ago. So if you're anything like me and you tend to be hard on yourself, this is your reminder. Be kinder to yourself. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you've enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comments and let me know what you're making. I'm curious. See ya!